Sagittarius, hello there, my beautiful friends. We're going to do your general tarot reading for late June 2025. Thank you so much for joining me today. You know I appreciate each and every single one of you. So let's get right down to business, as always, and start you off with an oracle card here, just so we can dip our toes in the energy and see what's happening for the lovely Saggies. Hope you're all doing fabulous and fantastic, my friends. Let's get it going here. My guide, spirit team, talk to me. What do we got for our lovely Saggy friends in late June, please? What energies, messages, insights can we take a little peek at? And yeah, we're just going to take a real quick look at this first card, then we'll get into the full reading itself. And at the very end, I'll pull you a bonus card from the Shadowland Tarot, just to see what might be in the shadows or what shadow work you can lean into, which is always interesting. But let's get it going here. Let's rock and see what we got for Saggy. Late June, what is the vibe? What's the energy? Let's get this card out nice and quick. We still have Creepy Alice in full effect, of course. Okay. I wonder what will happen next is your card. Now, I think I've only seen this once, maybe twice, and it's very cerebral. And that's something I've been seeing in all the fire signs this week in particular, is that like a lot of us, me being a fire sign included, could be tempted to be in our head a little more so than we normally are. But this can also be someone trying to figure out what road to go down too. So there's a lot of consideration happening with this card. Now, before we fully dive into it, if you're new here, I'll be speaking about the June subscriber surprise towards the end, so you might want to check that out. And also, if you could kindly illuminate that like button by tapping it right on its third eye, you know I'd greatly appreciate it. But enough of the promo, into the reading. Let's talk more about the card. So we see this lovely lady sitting there with the blue dress. I wonder what will happen next. And we don't always have to go with the strict verbiage or the image. We can just go very intuitive. But to me, it's like she's just chilling and thinking, very Four of Cups like, if you know the meanings of the tarot cards. So she's in deep contemplation. So I know, knowing so many Saggies in my personal life, a lot of you are very philosophical in your way of thinking. You don't really think linear, if that makes sense. You like to big picture think. And that's kind of the vibe I'm picking up here too. It's like, all right, well, let me look at the big picture. Whatever it is I'm going through right now, it's not just this situation. What's the chain effect? How does this affect that? Like, I'm getting this really depth or really strong depth of thinking when I have this card. Now, some of us could predict the future. I'm not going to say nobody can. I mean, we could have our little guidance and stuff like that. But this is someone very interested on how something's going to work out, how it's going to go. Like, if I do this, what will happen? So it's someone really thinking ahead, thinking into the future when I see this card. But to me, the main vibe I'm getting here, Saggy, super active mind in this time, just like all the fire signs. So find an outlet for that energy, whether it's creativity or something else. So we're just going to let her chill right there. Let's get into tarot. And yeah, I always say that first card, it doesn't make or break the reading. It's just a little footnote. So let's get you 3 tarot cards in the upright, and we'll get into that intuitive juiciness. Shuffle it up one time here for my Saggy friends. What do we got? And while we shuffle this deck up and get it ready to go, let's talk about last week's reading. It was titled An Emotional Warning, and it did feel like a bit of a roller coaster. There was a lot of that watery energy, high highs, low lows, ups and downs, a lot of unpredictability. So just know, like, even moving forward, even if we get good or rough within this week, just watch out for the ups and downs, especially with what we're seeing here and what we saw last week, because it's like there was a lot of intensity and it was a little unpredictable. So we're going to see what shows up for you this week. As you know, energy is very fluid, never set in stone, so only take this how it hits for you, because we could be seeing your vibe or somebody else's, right? Let's get it going. 3 cards for Saggy. What is happening in late June for my friends? Page of Wands, hey, there you are. That's one of your power cards right there. I like this Page of Wands in position number 1 because it's fired up. It's like, let's do this. Let's make it happen. There's a lot of motivation with this card, so I really think it fits the vibe, especially in position number 1. Let's get a couple more. 4 of Pentacles, the total opposite. Now, this is a theme I've seen in all the fire signs this week in particular, where it's like we have total opposites happening, where we have this energy, it's like wide open, let's go, let's do this, and this one that's completely closed off. So we're going to have to see how it all plays out. I mean, they're not all identical, but it's interesting how they seem to rhyme, if that makes sense. Okay, Queen of Pentacles, we have a lot of people showing up in your energy this week. We're going to put her down right there. A lot of earthy energy as well. Okay, We're going to have to see how this all plays out, Saggy, because for some of you, this could be really amazing. For some of you, this could be a little frustrating, especially with more earth in your bonus. But let's go through. I'll give you some of the classical meanings and archetypes. Then we'll get into that juicy, intuitive stuff. But at first glance, you know I always look at the elements first if you're a regular watcher, because I feel like that's very important. It tells us how the energy's flowing, how it's moving. And you have an abundance of earthy energy. And speaking as a fire sign myself, this could be good in the sense that it could represent money. It could represent long-term things, things that are going to be around for a long time. It's a slow mover. That's the big thing with Pentacles. And in its most positive form, it's very secure. It's very set in stone. As a fire sign, I know we like to be a little more adaptable, especially Sagittarius with this fire energy here in the front. So to me, when I see this page, it's like it's pushing up against all this earthy energy. So we're going to have to say, like, is this really good? Could this potentially be a breakthrough? Or is this energy like making you feel cornered in some sort of way? I feel like it could be either for some of you, but let's see how it all plays out. And another thing here, before we move into the singular cards, fire itself represents action, the moves people make, outside influences, passion and motivation. So when we see the earth and fire combo, it's like the things around me, and we have the people. So like this is going to have some layers to it. And I was already talking about big picture philosophical thinking. It's showing up here, but let's go through it piece by piece. Position number one, we have one of your power cards, the Page of Wands. Nice. Now I like all fire court cards in my simplistic style. When we clarify it, it could just tell us something that's coming towards you or a way you might be feeling. When I see the Page of Wands, it's like, let's go, let's get it going, let's make it happen. All pages are communicators. They're all fresh. They're all new, and have a sense of optimism. And the positive of this Page of Wands, it is willing to put a lot of energy into something to make it happen. It's amped up. Now, the downside of the Page of Wands, it could waste that energy, or it could deplete that energy if it's been trying too hard. So watch out for energy depletion in this time. If you're feeling zapped, if you feel like you've been up against the wall a little too much, this Page of Wands could be spirit saying like, all right, you need to recharge the batteries. Don't use all the juice just yet. So we're going to have to see what's up with this page, especially with all this earthy energy surrounding it. Because notice he is facing this Four of Pentacles. It could just be a talk of some kind, right? We don't always have to make it a huge thing. The page could be a message or a talk of something. But position number two, we have the Four of Pentacles. And you see that person closed down, holding on to that pentacle. Whereas the page, it's wide open, action-oriented, let's go. This Four of Pentacles is like, no, I will not. So there's like two total opposites right here in the front end. Now, the Four of Pentacles has some positives. I always say when it comes to finances, this is the card we want. When it comes to saving money, saving up, you might be making a big purchase when this card shows up. There could be one in your short-term future. It's, setting a budget. This is really fantastic for investments and growing your money. That's what I love about this Four of Pentacles. It's great for finances. So maybe some of you are going to have a good breakthrough there. But the challenge when the Four of Pentacles shows up is more in how it connects to interpersonal relationships. This is an energy that's not letting go of something. So there could be something you've been dealing with, are dealing with, where it's very difficult to move past it, move through it. There could be something you're still holding on to. No judgment here. The Four of Pentacles in its worst case scenario could be a little grudgy, could represent jealousy, could represent possessiveness. And around here, we don't always go worst case scenario. But as you can see, it's locked down and it's like the gates are up. Right? It's very similar to the Nine of Wands. So when we have this page right next to it, it's like, okay, is this a situation? Is this a person? Like this page doesn't seem to be making much headway, if that makes sense. So we're definitely going to need to look at this Four of Pentacles because this could be the potential problem point or situation. Now, moving to the back end, we do have the Queen of Pentacles, beautiful earth sign energy. So Capricorn, Virgo, Taurus, you might be connected to one. Queens represent the internal aspect of the suit. So again, it's secure, it's safe, blessings, abundance in its positive form. We love this Queen of Pentacles. So again, there's good potential here for really good stuff for a lot of you. But the challenge of the Queen of Pentacles, she could be very set in stone. She could be very stubborn. It is what it is. I will not flex. I will not budge, which as a fire sign, I know for some of you that could be very frustrating, especially next to this Four of Pentacles. So we'll see. we're just going to have to see how it all plays out, because I think for some of you this could be really great. For some of you this is going to be one of the most frustrating energies you could possibly deal with. Could be very boring too. Now on the back end here for your bonus, we have the Two of Pentacles. Very harmonious, very balanced. It's a very good energy. So this could give us a good little silver lining attached to the reading itself. But the challenge of the Two of Pentacles, sometimes it could be juggling too much. So when we're talking about energy depletion, when we're talking about pushing up against things and the Two of Pentacles shows up, it's like, all right, take a breath. There might be something where you just need to take a breath and take the foot off the gas. But it's harmonious. There could be something that turns out in your benefit. It is also a karmic card. But I want to dive deeper on all of it, Saggy. Let's do it. Let's jump in and clarify. Let's get a good shuffle here. What is happening for my good friends? And yes, I always like to go intuitive at this point, which means I just tell you how it feels to me. So feel free to do further research or rely on your base knowledge of tarot, because as you know, every single reading is about the reader's interpretation, and I'm just giving you mine. Let's go in on the page, see what he has going on. And yes, if you're a reader yourself, please feel free to play along. That's why the box is here. If you're feeling any messages you want to give to Saggy, drop it in the comments. I don't mind at all. All right, get this page going. Why is he here for my good friends? Why is the page here? Thank you. Yeah, this is an energy that is like in a rush. Like, let's get this going. I'm tired of waiting. I want to do this. I want to do it now. I want it yesterday. We have the Ace of Pentacles in reverse underneath this page. It's also that should I, shouldn't I. Now, for some Saggies, there could be various situations you're dealing with where it's like, oh, I want to do something, but I'm not sure if I should. Would it set me back if I did this? It's like giving me that kind of vibe. It doesn't necessarily feel bad, but notice more earthy energy. So the page wide open. Let's go. Let's move. Ace of Pentacles in reverse, though, is like maybe not. So there's a lot of second guessing showing up in someone's energy. I'm not saying it's you. This could be good if it's considerate, if it's somebody that wants to see all sides of something. But at the same time, it's like, I want to do this. I've been wanting to do this. I want to get this moving, but I'm not sure if I should. I'm not sure if it's the right time. That's initially what I'm feeling here. Now, both of these cards are cards of messages and communication and talking. Could be a little choppy. We're going to have to see how the rest of it plays out. That's for sure. Ace of Pentacles, again, even in reverse, it represents offers and opportunities and messages. But the fact that it's in reverse, it's like withholding it. So for another portion of Saggies, there might be something that you're purposely withholding, where it's like, you know what? Maybe, but not right now. It's like giving me that kind of energy, which is really peculiar. We're going to keep moving. We're not going to spend too much time there. But there is this little energy that wants to push things forward. It could be a little impatient too. So watch the temper in this time, or the impatience levels. But let's go in on that 4. Let's see what the 4 has. Because if anything could be the real log jam, it's going to be that. So why is that 4 of Pentacles? Thank you. Whoa, okay. 10 of Swords in reverse underneath this 4 of Pentacles. Okay, so in the financial realm, if we're talking about work, if we're talking about finances, there is room for growth. That's the one thing I could say. There's room for growth. There's a lot of improvement and things getting better in the financial realm. But just like the classical version of the card, this could most definitely represent a problematic energy. 10 of Swords in reverse, where it's like, oh, you know, this is serious. So whether it's a serious situation or a problem showing up, like when I see these two cards together, it's like, all right, don't push this too quick, or don't push this too far right now. Like, you need to use caution, which makes sense now with the energy I saw here in the front. Now, the 10 of Swords could represent endings. It could represent pain. The fact that it's in reverse is the better. I mean, yeah, it could represent loss of various different kinds. But when I see it underneath the 4 of Pentacles, to me, it's like, I'm not over this yet. So there could be something where it has stuck with you. Now, I'm not saying like, no, you have to resolve it, Saggy. You have to let go of it. Da, da, da. I'm not going to get all preachy on you like that. I know that life is very complicated and complex, and you could hold on to something as long as you need to, right? And take peace in that. But yeah, this could most definitely be a problematic energy as well. So there is something that you should approach with a sense of caution. Doesn't say you shouldn't do it. You should do it. There's nothing coming through here with a definitive answer. It's just saying proceed with caution. That's the big vibe I'm picking up here in the center. But yeah, no, this could most definitely represent a problem of some sort, for sure. and it's showing up, and you should use caution. Let's keep moving. I feel like we don't need to try to talk circles around that. It is what it is. Let's see why the Queen of Pentacles is here. Now the energy makes sense, why it feels a little jammed up. But why is that Queen? It's good for the financial and work-based things, that's for sure. Then the energy finally opens up. Okay, that's good. So it's a natural progression here. Okay, so we have the Knight of Cups in the upright underneath this Queen of Pentacles. Now the energies, like, they just start clicking, they just start working together. And I really do like this. And it seems like it's something that just happens naturally. I would urge you and warn you against anything where you feel like you're forcing it in this time. Anything. Okay, so whether it's a healing journey, whether it's like not speaking about something, like, I don't think there's anything you should feel like you're forcing yourself to do it in this time, because it's like when you finally just say, you know what, I'm just going to let the energy flow. When I let it flow, I get the best case result. Because I will say this, regardless of what you may or may not be going through as of this moment with all this stuff in the front end, this is a beautiful result. This is something paying off for you. This is patience. This is willpower. This is determination paying off in a big way. So I really love this energy here on the back. It's nice. It's a nice silver lining to everything that we saw here in the front. The Knight of Cups, if you're not connected to a water sign, silky smooth, easy flowing, easy going. We love this energy here. So again, I see a big payoff. I see a big win in the end, but it might take a little bit of time, and that's okay, as long as you're not forcing anything. That's the big vibe here. Which again, knowing Sagittarius is like, good luck to anyone trying to force you to be a certain way or do a certain thing. But let's go through and do a quick recap. Then we'll see what shows up in the shadows. If you kindly look in the box, position number 1, we have the Page of Wands with the Ace of Pentacles in reverse. Like I said, it was like, I want to do something. I wanted to do it already. I wanted to do it yesterday. It's just very motivated. Watch your energy levels in this time, because this is like, you know, I don't want any delays. I just want to make this happen. But another vibe I'm getting here is just watching that you're not draining yourself too much. Watch your energy levels. Very important here. But it's also like, should I, shouldn't I? Do I do this or should I do this? Should I do this or not do anything at all? There's like a lot of conflicting energy showing up here in the front. Now, moving to the center, I have the Four of Pentacles with the Ten of Swords in reverse here. This can represent a problem of some kind. It could represent a situation that Spirit wants you to use caution with, and not rush. As far as like work, money, and stuff like that, great energy for that, because it's like I see things increasing and growing in a positive way. But when it comes to like the interpersonal, it's either like not letting go of something, but I don't feel like you have to, as long as you're not pressuring yourself too much or forcing yourself to be someone you're not or be something you're not. That should be your kryptonite in this time. Even if there are problems or things that you're dealing with, don't ever force yourself to be something you're not. On the back end, we have the Queen of Pentacles with the Knight of Cups. There is a payoff for you. So whatever thing or situation that's brought you here that you may be dealing with, I do feel it working out in the end for you, especially when you get into a state of flow, where it's like, you know what? I'm not going to fight with myself over this. I'm not going to force myself to be a certain way. If there's something I want to do, I'm going to do it. If there's something I want to say, I'm going to say it, and I'm not going to edit it. That's like the big vibe. So please take a screenshot if you want to look into it further, Saggy. Let's see what's in the shadows. Okay, let's get a good shuffle here for you, my friends. And yeah, I always like to pull one shadow card at the very end, just to see whether it's something within you or something you don't quite see. Shadow cards don't always have to be a challenge. They could be a good thing too. So let's get you one. And yes, if you made it to this point in the reading, please feel free to check out channel memberships. I'll put a link for it in the comments below. It's a beautiful way to support the channel, and I have much love for all my channel members. Okay, let's get this going here. What do we got for Sag? Quick, Chariot. Yeah, so more of this energy about flow. Now, for some of you, if you're connected to Cancer, they're showing up here in a very prominent way. But if that's not the case, the Chariot is a card of distance, travel, trips, stuff like that. So for some of you, you might get the travel bug in this time. You might take like an unexpected trip, or you just go globetrotting in one way or another. That's not a bad thing. That fits the Saggy vibe to me. But a big thing with this card is determination. So it fits the shadow side of what we saw within the reading itself, because what does the Chariot do? It just bursts through anything that gets in its way. We see that that's not the way you should approach something, where it's like you shouldn't have to force it, you shouldn't have to strong arm it, just let the energy flow. So we're seeing this again, even showing up in the shadows. But the Chariot to me is once again an energy that moves forward in a positive way. So I think you're going to get a good result, my friends. So we're going to leave it at that. Saggy, that's what I have for you this week. Don't click away just yet, though. I'm going to give you the details of the June subscriber surprise. If you would like further insight on your situation, you can book a personal reading with me at my website, mastermetaphysics.com. The June calendar is open, so you can go check for availability. But for the June subscriber surprise, I'm giving away 3 copies of one of my most favorite decks ever, the Everyday Witches Tarot. So if you'd like to get your name in for this, it's 2 simple things as always. First, you must be subscribed. And second, let me know down in the comments if you could manifest something right now instantly, what would it be? You'll be entered to win, and at the end of the month, the winners will be announced in my community tab. As always, my friends, much love, and I'll see you soon.